Good morning everyone. Today we are going to learn direct and indirect speech. Before we begin, I would like to tell you I have made direct and indirect speech into three parts. Here I am representing part number 1. First of all, we need to understand what is direct and indirect speech. Direct speech describes when something is being repeated exactly as it was. That is known as indirect speech. Indirect speech will still share the same information, but instead of expressing someone's comment or speech by directly repeating them to the third person or to someone else, is known as an indirect speech. Before we understand with an example, there are important points to be taken care. Direct and indirect speech is divided into two parts. First is the speaker, second is the listener. Next, that is the reporting verb. That is what we have to identify while changing from direct to indirect. Reported speech. Pronoun, tenses, comma and double inverted comma, that changes to that. But there is one important note that we need to take care. Comma and double inverted comma does not changes to that every time. It depends upon the type of the sentence. What type of sentence it is, we'll look into the example on a later on stages. Now, who is the speaker? The speaker means the first person. Whatever he or she says as it is, it remains as it is the speaker. Listener, in his or her own words. Reporting verb. Again, it is divided into two parts, present tense and past tense. What is present tense and what is past tense, we all have studied in standard 8th and 9th. Next, that is reported speech. Double inverted comma is known as unreported speech. That is what we have to actually change from direct to indirect. And the last, that is pronoun. Again, it is divided into three parts. First person, second person and third person. First person stands for I and we, second person stands for you, and third person stands for he, she, it and they. While we change direct to indirect, pronoun is to be taken care. If it is related to first person, it changes as per the subject of the reporting verb. If it is related to the second person, it changes as per the object of the reporting verb. And if it is related to third person, there are no changes in it. Talking about tenses. The basic simple fundamental rule of grammar while talking about direct and indirect speech is if the sentence is given in present tense, it changes into past tense. That is the simplest way to understand direct and indirect speech. If the sentence is given in simple present, it changes to simple past. If the sentence is given in present continuous, it changes to past continuous. If the sentence is given in present perfect, it changes to past perfect. If the sentence is given in present perfect continuous, it changes to past perfect continuous. Look at the example so it will be easy for you to understand. He said to me, I'll be waiting for you. As we all know, the structure of the sentence, that is the subject, the verb plus the object. That is all we have studied in standard 8th and 9th. Here, look at the example again. He said to me, I'll be waiting for you. He is the subject, said to is the reporting verb, and me is the object. And look at the sentence, the remaining part of the sentence. I will be waiting for you, double inverted commas. That is actually known as the reported speech. That is what we have to change from direct to indirect. Before we give the solution or before we begin directly towards the answer, we need to understand what is the reporting verb, what is the pronoun, what is the reported speech. We need to understand all these things. Here, said to is considered to be the reporting verb. So as per the previous slides, we know that it is divided into two parts, that is present tense and past tense. Present tense, say or says, that changes to past tense, that is said. Say to or says to, that changes to said to, again past tense. Tell and tells, that changes to told to, again past tense. One important note, if say or says is not connected to the word to, there will be no changes. If to is connected to the word say or says, it will be converted into tell or tells. So if it is converted into tell or tells in present tense, automatically it would be converted to told to. Okay, as from the previous slides, we have discussed earlier that it has three types: first person, second person, and third person. We'll continue with the same example. He said to me, comma, double inverted comma, I'll be waiting for you. Now we have seen earlier that he told me, comma and double inverted comma, that will be changed to that. I will be waiting for you. I will be waiting for you has been given in double inverted comma, so that is the reported speech. And that is actually we have to convert direct to indirect. So the answer would be, he told me that he will be waiting for me. Now I has changed to he and you has changed to me. Therefore, remember the rule: subject of the reporting verb and object of the reporting verb. I changes to he and you changes to me. That we have discussed in the previous slides. I hope you remember. Direct. Let us look at some important grammatical changes by default. While changing a sentence from direct to indirect, we need to learn, or we need to mug it up, these things. This changes to that, this changes to those, here changes to there, now changes to then, today, that day, tomorrow, next day, yesterday, previous day, tonight, that night. Few models that you need to learn by heart. Can changes to could, shall changes to should, will changes to would, and may changes to might. By applying this rule, we make changes from direct to indirect. Thank you. I hope it was easy for you to understand the part 1 of direct and indirect speech. We'll shortly be discussing part 2. Thank you once again.